In this video, I'm going to teach you how to help your kid learn to catch, whether they're playing baseball or softball, or when they're just learning in the backyard. What should you do as a baseball or softball parent to help teach good catching skills for your son or daughter? In this video, we're going to go through all the basics and the big things that are important and dismiss some of the things that are not. So in this video, we'll cover the basics of catching when throwing horizontally, like playing catch or receiving a throw from someone else, and the basics of catching a fly ball, which is obviously going to be overhead. Now, as a general rule, you want to make it play, you want to make it fun, and I really encourage you to use lots of different types of balls if they're going to learn to catch, because ultimately catching is a coordination skill. If they can catch a football really well, they're going to catch a baseball just fine or a softball just fine. So don't feel like if you're signing your kid up for baseball that, baseball should be the main focus. Yes, it's important for them to learn how to use their glove, which we'll talk about in this video, but use all sorts of different balls, Nerf footballs, vortex balls, big, soft, squishy balls, small little wiffle balls, anything that they can catch and throw with either bare hands, even with a cup, with one of those Velcro gloves, a regular glove. Be really creative as a sports parent. Don't feel like it's relegated to just baseball drills. I'm going to show you baseball drills in this video, but I just want to make sure you get that general overview that as long as you're building their hand-eye coordination and how to catch, they're going to do well with all these more specific types of skills. The biggest problem with young players is that they don't know how to flip their glove down when the ball comes up. So you'll see lots of players who are okay trying to catch it like a basket like this, and they understand that ball goes in, it literally is like a basket. The problem is, though, is they go up the ladder like this, and now they're going to get hit in the face if they don't learn to turn their glove over to get to the thumb down position. So as a parent, when you're teaching them how to catch with a glove, I want you to let them fail with this. It's okay, but that's why you want to use a really soft, squishy ball that's not going to hurt them. Here's a type of wiffle ball. Here's a tennis ball. Tennis balls can still hurt. So maybe you get a really squishy like foam ball. But again, let your kids fail. If they're doing this with their glove, okay, use the really soft, squishy foam ball and say, hey, how well does that work when you hold your glove like this? Not very well, right? Okay, well, how well does it work when we turn our thumb down, right? And now they're going to go, oh, now I'm getting the basket effect here. And I'm getting the basket effect here because when we turn our thumb down, now the ball stays in. And I get the benefit of being able to see it in the whole time and protect myself with it. So when you're catching, if you watch high-level players play catch, they're usually receiving stuff over here because I can keep my eyes on it all the way into my glove. It's not as easy to catch the ball over here because I'm going to lose track of it that last little bit. But when I'm catching it here, even if it's anywhere on this side of my body, I get to watch it in the entire time. So turning your glove to thumb down position is an incredibly important fundamental skill that when kids can get out of this habit and get into this habit, then they're going to do really well. So as a parent, how do you reinforce that? Well, you can use obviously a glove and just work on it. Say, hey, all right, we're going to do a game. When it's down here, it's palms up. When I throw it above your belly button, thumbs down, right? And you can just work by flipping tennis balls, foam balls, wiffle balls, and just work on them. They will not be able to catch it like this without a glove especially. It's going to be even harder with their bare hand. So they're going to want to go thumbs up. And you just reinforce them with positive reinforcement. So when you toss it high and they try to do this, go, hey, you remember, hand here. Okay, and then they get it. Hey, thumbs down. Great job. All right, so here's a quick progression for kids who are just learning how to catch. You can just play catch with them with a wiffle ball, squishy, soft foam ball, tennis ball, whatever. And we're going to go palm up, thumb down, right? And so maybe you go without a throw, and we do this 20 times. Palm up, thumb down, palm up, thumb down. And we're just building this skill of getting comfortable with balls above our belly button, of turning our thumb down, because that's how we want to catch with our glove on. So maybe 20 times, palm down, thumb up. Then you give them their glove, no throws yet. Make this fun. This is not very fun. Palm down or palm up, thumb down. Then when they're pretty good there, now you can start flipping them balls. So flip them a wiffle ball, different heights, and they see, okay, I have the basket here, and up here, I have the basket as well. And just work on different places. Help them get the skill of how to turn their glove in different ways. Again, we're just getting our basket pretty much wherever we can, and then this side, we have to turn our thumb down to get that basket on that side. So again, palm up, thumb down, thumb down, thumb down, palm up, palm up. And that's really all there is to it. And then you just need to reinforce that with playing catch. And again, with young kids, be really careful, use really soft balls, because if they're in this habit, they run a lot of risk of getting hit in the face because they're not going to be able to protect themselves as that glove comes up. Real quick, do you want to support my channel and get access to hundreds of member-only baseball videos? If so, click the join button that you'll find right below and learn more about becoming a channel member. All right, so whether it's baseball or softball, the mechanics are the same. It doesn't make a difference. When they're trying to catch a fly ball, the big source of confusion is really just one hand versus two hands. So that's what I want to spend the most time on here. And I'm here to tell you that two hands is just not that important. And oftentimes it makes players less athletic and more confused. Here's what I mean. So look, if you're camped under a fly ball, so you've hit one up in the air and I'm underneath it and I'm ready for it, sure, I can go up with two hands. I can catch that fly ball and I can have my other hand here to trap it in so that it doesn't squirt out, right? That's the situation where we might use two hands. Once you're good with your glove, though, you're going to see lots of higher level players. They're just going to use their glove and catch it, and they're not going to really be at any risk of it falling out. Now, when you're young, balls squirt out of your glove all the time for multiple reasons. Number one, your hand-eye coordination is not that good. Number two, youth gloves are not broken in very well oftentimes, and they have pop spots where the ball just doesn't stay in very well. The webs are not well developed. Often the gloves are brand new, so the ball is at risk of just falling out more often, but that's really more of an equipment issue than a mechanics issue. The other thing is kids get their hands in weird positions sometimes, and the ball will fall out. So there is some merit to wanting to have a second hand there in case it starts to squirt out. However, the problem is, as a coach, if you don't explain when to use this and when not to, kids get really confused, and what they do is they start running around trying to two-hand everything when the mechanics of the game just do not allow for that. Most players will catch the ball with one hand because most catches, or many catches, are caught on the run. If I'm on the run and I'm reaching with two hands, I'm now contorting my body because I have so much of my body reaching out for it that now I lose my athleticism as I run. Ideally, we want to keep our running gait as true to form as we can and then reach up at the last minute. And when we're doing that, so if we're catching a fly ball on the run, we need to run, and then reach up and catch it last. Or run, and now we've camped underneath it, and now, sure, we could use two hands. But the only time you want to use two hands is when you're camped and your hips are facing the ball. So the ball's coming down, I'm underneath it, I can use two hands to catch it. That's totally fine. But anytime my hips are turned basically in a direction that's not home plate, I'm going to be able to reach my best, I'm going to be able to stay my most balanced, and I'm going to be most athletic and coordinated using my running form and then reaching and using my glove. So this is the important distinction, because what we don't want is I'm playing shortstop, coach, balls hit over my head, and I start running like this right away, or I start running with two hands, or I'm running over here with two hands up in the air. And I can tell you, you cannot run fast with two arms over your head, and you become very awkward, unbalanced, uncoordinated when running with multiple arms over your head. So that's the thing to impress upon your kids is when they run after a fly ball, run first and reach and catch last. And that's when they're going to use their glove and catch it one-handed. And that's totally fine. Kids are capable of catching one-handed. And as a parent, you can help them break in their mid a little bit better, and that will make a lot of difference in their catching ability. So as far as drills, what do you do to teach good catching habits in a young baseball or softball player? The main thing is throwing drills that make them run and then reach later to catch. That's the biggest thing you can do for them. So what I mean by this is, yes, when they're just learning to catch, just throw it in front of them, get them comfortable with the very basic mechanics of it. Once they're pretty good with just catching balls that are thrown right at them, now the big skill is you're going to throw way to my right or to my left. But here's the thing. It's better as a parent for you to be over there or over there and throw it in the air, so it's incentivizing them to run for it first and then reach for it later. If you're here and you throw it over my head, I'm going to try to catch the ball right away. And because I'm so focused on catching the ball right away, I'm going to be thinking about my glove. I'm going to be doing lots of things. I'm going to tap dancing around it rather than running at it. But if as a coach, I say, all right, I want you to run. And then when you see me throw it, then try to catch it. Now, the first task of the athlete is I just have to run because coach said run. And then when I see the ball, now I can try to catch it. That's a better way to teach catching, because now the player has two goals in mind. The first goal is to run fast. Second goal then later is to catch the ball. So here behind me, I've set up 2 cones, and then you'll see a baseball over there. So if I was a coach, this would be a drill I would set up where I would say, all right, I want you to run as fast as you can to that cone. Once you get to that cone, then look up. That's when I'm going to throw the ball. So from this cone to that cone, I only have to worry about one thing, which is running. And so I'm not going to do this from this cone to this cone because the ball's not even in the air yet. So I'll run to this cone. Now coach throws it, and now I'm going to look at it, but I've already got some momentum and I'm already running. So it's going to build that habit of running first and trying to catch the ball later. So this is how I would recommend you do all of your catching drills once they get past the very basics of catching balls up in the air right at them, is orient your drill so that there's some amount of time they're running first before you throw the ball. That will incentivize this good habit of I run first, I catch it last when I actually have a chance. Because the goal is if the ball is 60 feet away and they run all 60 feet, they're running for 59 feet. And then the 60th foot, that's when they reach and they make the catch. That's what you see everyone on TV do, all the major leaguers do. They are going full speed and they catch it last when they beat the ball. Get a glove that's big enough, but not too big. Sometimes I see kids with a glove that's barely bigger than their hand, and they're not going to be able to really have any sort of reach. We want to, again, have some amount of web, some amount of basket in here where the ball can kind of sit in. So make sure it's probably going to be in the 10-inch range for really young kids. But again, this depends on the size of your kid, the size of their hands. Going to a local sporting goods store, I think, is the best bet, where you can try on different gloves and they can see what they can close. And often, also as a parent, you can help break their glove in a little bit. Just beat the pocket a little bit deeper. Jump on YouTube for videos about how to break in a glove. I've created one. But deepening the pocket, helping them break in some of these crease points will make it easier for them to squeeze. And that can often make all the difference on whether a ball stays in their glove or if it pops out. So the glove really does matter, and I would encourage you to spend just the right amount of money. You don't have to spend a lot when they're young to get decent equipment that'll work for them. But don't buy the absolute cheapest thing, and also don't buy the most expensive thing either. Just find the right balance of price and just figure out what feels good on their hand. So I really would recommend going to a sporting goods store with your kid rather than buying it online, just so they can get a feel for it and say, yes, I feel comfortable. And as a parent, that you can see that they can actually close their glove pretty much around a ball. So this is important. Glove does matter when you're teaching your kid how to catch. All right, so let's summarize the big concepts in this video of teaching your kid how to catch a ball. So number one, when you're playing catch horizontally, when they're catching balls thrown at them, palm up, thumb down, palm up, thumb down. That's an important skill for young players learning to get their glove from here to here when the ball's above their waist. If they're doing this, they're going to be in trouble and they're going to really struggle to catch anything above chest level. So working on palm up, thumb down is a fundamental skill for young players. Use safe, soft balls when they're learning this skill until they're really, really good at this. When you're working on balls thrown up into the air, one hand is the type of catch. They're going to catch it with one hand anytime they're running around and they haven't camped underneath it. So make sure you explain this to them. You should not be asking kids to make two-handed catches that are over their shoulder to the left and the right. It's going to make them off balance and awkward. That's the wrong thing to do. Reinforcing two hands is totally fine when they're camped underneath it and they're just waiting for the ball to come down. That is fine. But if anything where they're on the run, they need to be taught how to use one hand. That's the right way to do it. And the last big concept is when you're doing catching drills, working on helping your player catch balls to the right, to the left, over their head. Orient the drills where there's a period, where there's a distance where they're going to run first before you throw it. So ask them to run 2 or 3 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet before they see you throw the ball. That way they're working on running first and catching when they actually get to the ball, because we don't want players to reach up and run like Pinocchio with both hands or one hand up in the air. That's a slow, awkward way to run. So what other questions do you have about youth baseball or softball? Leave a comment or question below. I love getting ideas for new videos. Please subscribe or join my channel, and where you'll get member-only videos, hundreds of them that can help you with your coaching journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you here in the next one.